Let me scoot up because it looks like something's getting ready to go down. We got the Pentagon press briefing happening, and we got some pretty big players with Sabrina, and it's 58 minutes long. So something is about to go down, militarily wise, and we're going to watch it. Also, it looks like all of these people in this room, they've got the cross hatching and everything going on. I don't know if this is a real briefing or not, but something is about to go down. This press briefing is 58 minutes long. They normally will not have a briefing like that showing evidence of something if they weren't going to take action on it. And they're going to show some action on it, you all. You just got to get a heads up because something's about to go D-O-W-N. Can you spell it out? I did. Down. Something's about to go down. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't. They shouldn't be having. It's not Thursday. See, his arm don't even look normal. This guy over here looked like a cartoon draw out right there. He does. But we're going to go to the main page. I should bring them up over here, but I want to zoom up on their faces too. I really do. I want to zoom up on their face. You do, Gina? Yes, I want to zoom up on their face. I do. Hello, you all. I see you all over here. Something's about to go down. It really is. And I can see you all right there. We're going to have to listen to what they have to say this time. I'm sorry if you do not want to hear what they're going to say. This is your chance to just bow out to what the Pentagon press briefing is about. Just bow out because I'm going to play it. Because I don't think you're going to see this on the news. Warmongerings, just like on Lord of the Rings, you all. Do we got some moderators in here? Do we got any moderators in here at all? No, we don't. So yeah, we're gonna watch it. I'll play moderator. Oh, you're so welcome. I can shake it. I can shake it. I will shake it. I did. It was good to dance and warm me out. The first time I did the video to dance to it, I wore myself out and it would not even record, but that's okay. It's fine. Your ears are ringing. Apple Brooks, honey, you made it. We got to go to the Pentagon press briefing, you all. We're going to do a split screen. I got to make sure you can hear me because I want to show you all right now. This happened today. We're looking at the October the 17th, 58 minutes long. We've got the Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh. This is Sabrina, honey, right there. She looks a little digitalized. You can see her. Look at the other people beside them. I cannot vouch for the validity of the authenticity of real people in this thing right now. I cannot, because you're seeing the cross-hatching on everybody's face. So we got Sabrina Singh. She is the Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary. I better push this button so I can see if I'm even being heard. Sabrina, honey, you got some. I wonder if the colors that she's wearing has anything to do, the color of her jacket. What does that mean? Because there's symbolism in everything. So we got Sabrina. And we've got the news media sitting right here. You can see, look at the back of his head, you all. I don't know what's going on with the back of his head, but he has got blue residual on the back of his head that does not belong there. It don't belong there. This guy, this woman, her foot is missing from her shoe. Her foot is missing from her shoe. Can you all hear me? Whoopsie. Hold a second. Come on, Sabrina, you're talking and I haven't even got to look at her shoe, you all. Can you hear me? Okay, so this lady she didn't have her foot in her shoe. So I'm sorry if you could hear me. Could I hear me? In her shoe. So I'm sorry if you could hear me. Could I hear me? Okay, you all. I'm gonna make it to where you can hear them also. Let me put it back to me. I'm gonna make it to where you. Let me go over there and see if you can hear them. Because I want to have... Okay, I want to do a video, maybe capture device or something. If we can hear them. How am I going to do this, Gina? It is a video. Let me see if I can capture her on the video. I gotta try to do this. I haven't done the video capture device, monitor, and output. It should be working. So let's see if we can hear Sabrina. Let me just push the button for one moment. It should be working. So let's see if we can hear Sabrina. Let me just push the button for one moment. It should be working. So let's see if we can hear Sabrina. Let me just push the button. Okay, that's not working. That was the wrong one, you all. Let me turn that one off. You're turned off. I've got to do the audio output capture. Monitor. I'm going to do the monitor output. I hope that I don't echo. I don't want to talk while she's doing it, you all. I don't want to interrupt Sabrina, honey. Can y'all hear me? I'm trying to get this situated. There's something going on. Something's about to happen. Let me push the button, see if you can hear it. Okay, that's not working. That was the wrong one, you all. Let me turn that one off. You're turned off. I've got to do the audio output capture. Monitor. I'm going to do the monitor output. I hope that I don't echo. I don't want to talk while she's doing it. You know, I don't want to interrupt Sabrina, honey. Can y'all hear me? I'm trying to get this situated. There's something going on. Something's about to happen. Let me push the button, see if you can hear it. No, that's not working. That is not working. Why isn't my audios working at all?
Tractor's law is different from others.
This is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I cannot even get my audio to work right now. Can't get it to work. Kind of makes me upset. Let me see if I can. I want to see if I can do a window capture. See if I can bring them over here. Let me shrink myself down because I'm not able to even get them on here for the life of me. Let me see if I can do window capture. Okay, I'm going to push the button to see if I do a window capture, perhaps I can do an audio output. And maybe that will work. Audio output, maybe, I guess. I just want to see if it's going to work. I can't push that button, you all. I'm having problems. Get this out of the way. I cannot even get this to even function. Can y'all hear me? This is ridiculous. I cannot even get my chat to even... No, it's not. It won't even work for me. This is wild. It's so wild. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Why will the audio Oh, they disconnected my audio output on the share the screen. Wow, they disconnected my audio output on the screen and me. Oh, so I got high definition audio device. Let me see about the screen because I think they disconnected it on me. Audio input. Okay, I might be able to have it now, y'all. Let's see if I can go over there. Can y'all hear me? Because they disconnected my audio output. So I want to try to come over here and just push the button and see if you can hear it. Let me make sure. Because you should be able to hear it now if they didn't knock me out.
Or too close to U.S. aircraft, all as part of trying to interfere with the ability of U.S. forces to operate safely in places where we and every country in the world have every right to be under international law.
Get
and
this
when you
out of
take
the way.
into account
I
cases
cannot
of
even
coercive
get
and
this to
risky
even
PLA
function.
intercepts
Can y'all
against
hear me?
other states, the number increases to nearly 300 cases against U.S. ally and partner aircraft over the last 2 years. Now let me take a moment to explain why this matters so much.
Okay, I think I got it now, you all.
For decades, the
Let me
United
do
States
it.
has operated in the region safely.
All right. I think I've got it now. You all. I do apologize, but they did something. They did something to my audios on my just the screen and me. They disconnected my audio outputs. So I'm going to go over there now. You all, I don't even know what the title of this video is. We're going over to it. We're going here. Starting over, we're going to see Sabrina, and we're going to watch her. Okay,
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'd like to introduce Admiral John C. Aquilino, Commander, United States Indo-Pacific Command, and Dr. Eli Ratner, Assistant Secretary of Defense for Indo-Pacific Security Affairs. They will brief you on some newly declassified images and videos of coercive and risky PLA operational behavior over the last year or so against U.S. aircraft operating lawfully in international airspace in the East and South China Sea regions. We will release these videos and images later this afternoon. And with that, I'll turn over to Dr. Ratner.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Sabrina. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity today to speak about the newly declassified pictures and videos shared by the department today that depict the PLA's sharp increase in coercive and risky operational behavior in the East and South China Seas. And in particular, I'd also like to discuss why it represents such a significant concern. Now, as many of you know, every year for over 20 years, the Department of Defense has released what we call the China Military Power Report, or the CMPR. It's an important document because it's the department's authoritative public assessment of the PLA and the role it plays in helping to realize Beijing's broader ambitions. This year's report will be out soon, and taken together with today's announcements, it represents the department's most comprehensive depiction to date of this highly concerning behavior by the PLA. Well, last year's CMPR noted that PLA fighter jets were increasingly engaging in coercive and risky operational behavior. This year's CMPR provides a much clearer estimate of that disturbing trend. Specifically, since the fall of 2021, we have seen more than 180 such incidents, more in the past 2 years than in the decade before that. That's nearly 200 cases where PLA operators have performed.
I messed this. Gina, why did you touch this? I should not even touch that at all. Gina, now you did it. You are don't watch me no more because this is like messed up. I messed it up. Let's getting back to talking.
The examples released by the department today may each look different, whether in terms of the distance between the lawfully operating U.S. asset and the PLA asset engaged in coercive and risky behavior, or in terms of how exactly the PLA asset behaves in any given interaction. But all of these examples we've released today underscore the coercive intent of the PLA by engaging in these behaviors, particularly in international airspace. And the bottom line is that, in many cases, this type of operational behavior can cause accidents, and dangerous accidents can lead to inadvertent conflict. In January of this year, for example, An American aircraft was flying in the skies above the South China Sea, safely, responsibly, and in accordance with international law, and hundreds of miles from land. A PLA jet fighter approached our asset at a speed of hundreds of miles per hour, clearly armed, and closing to just 30 feet away. In fact, once it was there, the PLA fighter jet lingered at that narrow proximity for more than 15 minutes. Just weeks before, INDOPACOM had publicly released a video of a similar incident. And for the PLA to engage in this coercive and risky behavior so soon after that incident, indeed for PLA operators to continue this behavior at all, points to what this year's CMPR will describe as, and I'm quoting directly here, a centralized and concerted campaign. Let me say that again. A centralized and concerted campaign to perform these risky behaviors in order to coerce a change in lawful U.S. operational activity and that of U.S. allies and partners. We've also witnessed PLA pilots deliberately interfere with and create turbulence for U.S. operators by flying in front of U.S. aircraft at close distances. Photos from an incident in January 2022 show a PLA fighter jet crossing in front of a lawfully operating U.S. asset at a distance of just 100 yards, forcing the U.S. pilot to fly through the PLA's wake. Again, this is at speeds of hundreds of miles an hour and at an altitude of tens of thousands of feet. And this is not a one-off occurrence. In May of this year, as many of you know, INDOPACOM released a video of a PLA aircraft speeding along a U.S. aircraft before cutting in front of it. You can even see the physical effects of the resulting turbulence on the aircraft and the crew. This is yet another disturbing sign of the PLA's coercive and risky
I don't know if he's real. Look at his mouth.
operational behavior.
He's got computer chips in his mouth.
At a time when the PRC has declined our invitations to open lines of military-to-military communication at the senior-most levels. These images and videos speak for themselves. U.S. planes are operating safely.
Oh, wow. Look at that mouth. They're talking about the PLA. His eyes, his ears. I think they're CGI. I really do. His hands are still. His hands have cross-hatching on them. Look at his hands. He's not even there, you all. Look at that. But they're talking about the PLA. Gina, you're supposed to let us hear him talk and quit interrupting. Okay, I'm sorry.
Responsibly and in accordance with international law. Indeed, the skill and professionalism of American service members should not be the only thing standing between PLA fighter pilots and a dangerous, even fatal accident. Yet, time after time, that is exactly what has prevented a disaster in the East and South China Seas. As Secretary Austin has said on numerous occasions, the PRC can and must end this behavior, full stop. For our part, the department will continue to raise awareness about the dangers of the PLA's coercive and risky operational behavior. We will also continue to seek open lines of military-to-military communication with the PLA at multiple levels, including the senior-most level, because we believe these channels are crucial for preventing competition from inadvertently veering into conflict. Finally, the United States will not be deterred or coerced. We will continue to fly, sail, and operate safely and responsibly wherever international law allows. Our forces have helped sustain peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific for decades, and we will continue to do so every day. So I hope today's announcement can help increase understanding here in Washington, across the Indo-Pacific, and around the world about why the PLA's operational behavior is so concerning. Thank you, and I'll turn it over to Admiral Aquilino before we open it up to questions.
Thanks.
There's the Admiral. I want you to look at the people's faces in the audience. They always are looking down at their phones. They're always looking down at their phones. Look at them. I cannot vouch for who they are. I can't. I look at his ear. He's got a big. Look at the side of his ear. No, this ain't a vet, Mr. Code, honey. Now, see, look at their ears. These aren't even real people. They're not real people. They're like the same players in all the meetings, the press. And you see how you can't see nobody's face right there. You cannot see somebody's face. Look at that. They got their Blackberries. See, they don't got no... Look. I don't know where this guy's face is, and his head is running into his head and in his face. So you can look at the people over here. They don't have faces either. AI, artificial intelligence, is doing the Pentagon press briefings. They are. And this is rather alarming. It's very, very alarming, you all.
Sabrina, good to see you. Thanks for inviting me to be here today. And to all of you in the audience, I've spoken to many of you, but not all of you, so I'm honored to be here. And I thank you for participating.
Look at that.
Eli talked about the perspective and the challenges that exist as it applies to the PRC activity described in the report. I'm here to talk about these concerns from my perspective as the commander of U.S. Indo-PACOM.
Oh, wow.
First, let me start by stating that the service members of Indo-PACOM are uniform members, are civilian warriors every day.
I don't know if he's real either. Look at that.
Operate in order to prevent conflict.
This is scary. This really is really alarming. Very scary.
That is, prevent conflict, not provoke it. Now, we do that in order to execute.
I don't know if he's real either. Look at his mouth. See his mouth? Okay,
our
sorry.
functions and our missions, and that is to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific. That free and open Indo-Pacific enables peace, prosperity, and stability for all the nations in the region. And we've done that for 8 decades. Indo-PACOM deters conflict by being ready every day, whether it's our warfighting capabilities, our operations, our relationships with our allies and partners, and our exercises.
Does that look like a real face to you? It doesn't look real. But there's something serious happening. Okay.
Let me point out that our joint force is highly trained, disciplined, and professional. Our air operations are planned, rehearsed, and executed safely every day. As the Joint Force Commander, I'm most concerned about the potential for accidents, the way Dr. Ratner explained them. And those accidents could lead to miscalculation. We must prevent these from happening in the theater. So let me be clear. Intercepts happen every day around the world. The vast majority are conducted safely and without incident.
This is today.
There's no reasons for the intercepts with the PRC in the Indo-Pacific region to be any different. I'm here today because it's the operational commander's #1 responsibility to ensure the safety of our service members, and it's a responsibility I take very seriously. So highlighting these behaviors and ensuring that we can prevent them is a top priority. I want to thank you again for allowing me to be here today, and I look forward to your questions.
Great. Just a quick note at the top, I'd ask that you keep your questions to this topic, and then we'll brief after for news of day. So with that, I'll go to AP, Tara Kopp.
Thanks for doing this. Admiral Aquilino, given the new conflict in the Middle East, how concerned are you that you do not or will not have the assets you need given that there's now 2 carriers monitoring the Med, how are you able to continue to deter China if all of these assets need to go into potentially another central command conflict? And then for Dr. Ratner, given that there is also now a second conflict, have you been able to speak to any of your partners or allies about increasing production to get more 155, since now both Israel and Ukraine will need them?
So, thanks. Let me start. First, it is incredibly sad to watch the actions of the terrorists in the Middle East. It's also sad to watch the illegitimate, illegal war in Ukraine that's been initiated by the Russians. As it applies to the Indo-Pacific and my responsibilities,
It could be
what I'll
both.
tell you is I haven't had one piece of equipment or force structure depart. The United States is a global power, and that means we can deliver effects and execute our deterrence responsibilities across the globe. I don't think any other nation can do that at this time, but the United States can. Oh, by the way, the Indo-Pacific Command has 2 aircraft carriers right now at sea as well, along with a large portion of the joint force executing deterrence missions in my theater.
And maybe I'll just follow up. I'm going to stay away from the questions about issues related to other theaters and discussions with our allies and partners. But what I will say about this question of what does the events in other parts of the world mean for our policy and strategy in the Indo-Pacific and as it relates to the PRC, which is that, look, we have a 2022 National Defense Strategy which has described the PRC as the department's pacing challenge. That remains true today. We have a presidential budget request for the department that reflects that strategy, a strategy-driven budget. And we have been, in addition to those investments, developing new operational concepts relevant
I don't know.
to the region. We have been developing a more mobile, distributed, lethal, and resilient force posture in the Indo-Pacific. We've had a banner year in that regard over the last 12 months, a lot of great work in concert with Indo-PACOM from Japan, the Philippines, down through Australia. And in the meantime, we have been deepening our alliances and partnerships in the region, and to a T, our key alliances and partnerships in the region are stronger than they have ever been. As a result of that activity,
They are
we have likely
holograms.
heard department leaders say repeatedly, we believe deterrence is real, and
They probably make
deterrence is
around
strong.
$250,000 a
We're
year.
doing everything we can to keep it that way.
Just as a quick follow-up to that, though, is there a concern in the region that while having to engage in both Ukraine and Israel, there might be a reduced capability to meet whatever threat is faced by those same countries by China?
Like I said, we have been taking a number of steps to strengthen our commitment to the region, strengthen our deterrent to the region, and we will continue to do that.
Reuters?
Admiral, just similarly on that, have you seen any indications or any intel that the Chinese are looking at this period of not distraction, but just focus on the Middle East and Europe? As
Does that
an
look
opportunity
real
for
to you?
potential, not invasion of Taiwan, but operations against the island? And Eli, how many of these 180 that you described are unsafe and or unprofessional? Because that's been the standard by which we have measured dangerous behaviors. So coercive and risky seems subjective.
I think they're all
whereas
holograms.
unsafe and
His head don't even move
unprofessional
right with his
is a
body.
metric for what is dangerous in this.
Yeah, first, thanks. I'm certainly not going to discuss any intel that I've seen. What I'll say is historically, certainly all nations look at what's going on in the geopolitical space, in the military space, and I would expect there to be lessons learned. Indo-PACOM prepares every day to ensure we execute both of the missions the Secretary gave me. Number one, to prevent conflict in the Indo-Pacific. And number two, if mission one fails, be prepared to fight and win. So those actions go on each and every day in Indo-PACOM, and we would expect all nations to be watching these actions and then determining how that best fits into their future ways. That said, my forces are ready today.
So just in response to your question, look, we have a very specific set of criteria that we use to articulate and describe particular behaviors. That is classified. It should remain classified, and what we are presenting today is a set of activities that we
Sorry.
believe exhibit
They're all like that.
observable behavior, and that we have cataloged along the lines that I have described. And look, I understand
Oh, look at the top of his head.
the desire for exactly how many of these, what's the exact number. One is too many. All right, that's our view here at the department. What we have provided and will be on the Pentagon website, if it's not up already, will be 15 specific incidences cataloging over this period from the fall of 2021 through today, the most recent case in September, and every one of these is one too many.
Great. I'm going to go to Janie.
Thank you, sir. Chinese President Xi Jinping and the Russian President Putin summit will be held in Beijing. Also, North Korea and Russia's foreign ministers meeting in the Pyongyang tomorrow. How do you analyze the strength of military cooperation and solidarity between?
These are all digital people. Look at her hand. She's got big squares by them. No, this is all AI. Every single bit of this is AI. Every bit of it. AI is running the show. Look at that. Her hand. When she moves her hand, there's always squares around it. If this was a real press conference, you know what a real press conference looked like. You can see the people, and they're not pixelated like this. They had this guy here a lot in their briefings. And see, they never have faces. They never have faces. Look at them. They're not. They're just, it's all whatever. It's all, it's like you can take what they say because they're going to do it regardless. You see, look at their bodies. They're not real human beings. They're holograms, CGI, AI, whatever you want to call it. But they're talking about China.
North Korea, China, and Russia.
Thank you. First,
I can't even find the
we
button
watch
that I
very
need.
closely the cooperation, and certainly the concern from Indo-PACOM is the statement of a no-limits relationship between the.
I'm streaming 2160, but this is the Pentagon. They should have really good camera. YouTube, this is going to come through 1080. My stream settings are very high on here on my OBS Studio. But these are holograms. It's AI. These are AI holograms doing the press briefings and everything. They got AI people doing everything else too. So no,
DRC and Russia,
it used to be like
the
this.
inability to denounce bad actions globally, and their increased cooperation exercises, and we watch it very closely. So two authoritarian powers working that closely together is certainly concerning. Secondly, on North Korea and Russia, with the transfer of weapons and capabilities that you've seen and been written about in the media is also of concern. So the region is gotten more dangerous, and we watch very closely.
Why do you think China refuses military talks with the United States? Reason why?
Yeah, you're going to have to ask my counterparts in China. As I've been on the record before, I've asked to speak with my counterparts, the Eastern and Southern Theater commanders now, going on 2.5 years. I have yet to have one of those requests accepted, and I look forward to speaking.
His eyes look like Brigadier General Pat Ryder's eyes. I think they got Brigadier General Pat Ryder's eyes right here. I really do. And they got his face. This is all CGI.
And to my counterpart, I think developing that relationship would be critical to maintaining the peace and stability in the region.
Great. Warren?
The incidents you're talking about focus on intercepts in the air. I was wondering, are you seeing related action or a series of incidents in the maritime domain and an increase in that trend? I know there have been some incidents and some videos shared by DoD and others. Is there a similar trend you're seeing on the water?
Yeah, maybe I'll take that first and then pass it over to Admiral Aquilino. Absolutely, yes, this is part of a broader pattern of PLA behavior throughout the region, throughout domains and throughout geographies that we're seeing this behavior on the water, in the East China Sea and the South China Sea. We're seeing it against
I don't know if I even want to listen to the whole rest of this. This is going to be way too long. We don't want to listen to that long, because that's way too long, you all.
Israel use U.S. security assistance. Is this a matter of principle, or should be tested against the realities on the ground? Is this like an open-ended commitment, or what Israel does matter here?
I would say that, of course, what Israel does matters. Absolutely. Absolutely, this is a war. And absolutely, the actions that are taken, of course, matters. But that's why, in our conversations, the Secretary, this administration, has been very clear about the law of war and what that means. And that's what does set us aside from other nations around the world who do not follow that. So again, I think that we have been very clear from all across our agencies about the incredible loss of life that we are seeing in Israel and in Gaza, but we feel confident in our conversations with the Israelis that, and we will continue to reiterate, that the law of war must be upheld. Yeah.
Hi, thanks, Sabrina. Just a clarifying question. Given that there's no preconditions or tracking of the US material once it's gone to Israel, you can't rule out how it's being used. So it's entirely possible that US bombs have already been used to kill civilians in Gaza, whether or not that.
See, she's not even real anymore.
You can't rule that out, right?
Well, that's a hypothetical, and I wouldn't get into that.
Is it hypothetical though? Well, okay, setting aside whether or not it's a hypothetical, because we don't know where those bombs are going. Okay, does it not make your position untenable to keep saying again and again that there's no preconditions, and that Israel respects the rule of law and so on? That position is becoming harder and harder to sustain in the face of the mounting casualty rate that we're seeing every day from Gaza.
I know I've said this many times, but the Secretary...
Say it, Sabrina. We want to see you say it.
...having near daily...
Sabrina is CGI too now. She didn't used to be, but she is.
...conversations with his Israeli...
She's all CGI. Look at the side of Sabrina's face. You see it? Should I turn her digital too? We have holograms giving not holograms, AI, artificial intelligent avatars, giving briefings, news things, and this is Sabrina's.
Allies in the region, the Secretary of State was there, had an hours-long conversation.
See, she's not normal.
With the Israelis and his counterpart. Again, we feel that the Israeli military is a very capable, very professional military. And I know I've said this, but what sets us apart from the world, democracies like ours, is not targeting innocent civilians. And that is important, and that is what you've heard the Secretary continue to say in his conversation. Is responsible. They are keeping track of where they are going. Ourselves from Hamas.
A long time, unsafe and unprofessional.
To deal with in the region. And again, to Dr. Ratner's point, one accident is too many.
China.
We went through it in 2001, and certainly my intent as the operational commander is to do everything possible to ensure that we can protect our air crew, and that all nations should have the expectation of being able to operate safely in international airspace in the region. That's the rules-based international order that you hear us talk about so frequently.
Great. Thank you, guys. I know that we have a lot of questions, but unfortunately that's all the time our briefers have for today, and I'll be up here to take your questions. Thanks, all.
Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I am going to leave it at that because they brought them in because of China. Because of China, they got brought in. And then she starts talking about everything else. But there is something getting ready to happen. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brung in operational readiness, what they're doing over there, what's happening over there in the South China Sea and the PLA. They wouldn't be laying the groundwork. That's what they're doing, laying the groundwork. Can you hear me? Laying the groundwork for what's going on. This is the Pentagon press briefing. I don't even know what the name of this thing is, you all. What did I even call this video? Something's going down, and it is going down. Things are gonna really start heating up even more. And we don't need wars in all corners of the earth. We don't. And I don't think these were real people. They weren't. AI does the briefings. Yeah. She's a mannequin. She does look like a mannequin. She didn't used to look like that, but she looks like it now. She does. And used to like to watch her because she never had none of the answers that the reporters would ask her ever. She was kind of dumbfounded, is what she was. But then they turned her into AI is what happened. And that was the end of Sabrina, honey. Then she wasn't that fun to watch anymore. She really wasn't, because they did it to her. So something is getting ready to happen. It is. Let me show you Sabrina, honey. This is when they started turning her into AI. See her teeth and stuff? She got turned into AI. She could even be a lizard. She could have been a lizard from the beginning. But her mouth inside is green. Okay, this is what she used to look like. Is what Sabrina used to look like. See her mouth? And I think it's AI. Okay, yeah, she ain't even real right here. You can see her teeth. She's all digitaled. She is a digital representation. She's the avatar of the Sabrina Singh, is what she is, because this is her mouth, and she's an artificial intelligent life being that lives on the, I don't know, lives in the, I don't know what type of world you would call it. I don't know what type of world you would call it. That the life forms, you all. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Something's going on. It's getting ready to go down. Something's getting ready to happen. I'm going to end it. I'm done talking about it. I am. You don't want China war. You don't. But they've been gearing up for it. You don't want the war to be expanded. And they don't like the superpowers, China and Russia, gearing up together. They don't. And, yeah, that's right. That's where I'm done talking about it. I am. You can, if you want to go listen to that briefing, I'm going to let you go over here, and I'm going to give you the link to that whole entire briefing. I'm going to copy it on here, and that's how I get in trouble, right here. Going to come over here. I'm going to want you all watch me paste it in here. You go watch the Pentagon press briefing. You see I just put it in there? Yeah, I did. I just put it in there, you all. This is like wild. Something is about to go down. You don't bring those two in, given situational awareness updates, unless you're already laying the groundwork. And they are. They just want to get on there, say their thing, and get out. That's what they wanted to do. So I'm going to go. Thank you all for your comments, and thank you, moderators. And with that being said, hello. Oh, I'm not going to be back on here at 8:30. I'm not. I don't think I am. Probably not. I might, but I doubt it. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, you all. It's 7:54 p.m. It's already dark outside. It's time for bed. It is, you all. Oh, I love you all too. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Good night.